Okay, guys, so I restarted this thing because I realized that this camera is not going to pick up pencil. I'm asking you guys to do it in pencil because everybody's got a pencil. I'm going to just, for my purposes, use this black felt tip because the camera will pick it up better. So what I'm looking for you guys to do is for you guys to kind of, first of all, trace around yourself, right? So you kind of create just a profile shape of your person. So I'll do that right now. And again, it does not have to be perfect. Right, so that gives me something I can look at like through the image, okay? So the dimensions that I'm looking for you guys to get, that I mentioned to you, and what I'm expecting you guys to do in the drawings is to draw kind of what's called a dimension line. So we'll do one from the top of the head over, and we'll put an arrow between these two. All right, so like little arrowheads like that, and then I'll just write a dimension in there, okay? From the belly button, I'm going to estimate about right there. We'll do the same thing. Draw a line, put an arrow in. All right, you guys will be able to be a little bit sort of more fine with a pencil than I am with this felt tip. But I want you guys to write the dimensions in right there, right? If you are using feet and inches, then be consistent everywhere. If you're using just inches, that's fine. If you want to round it to the nearest half inch, I'm fine with that. So let's say you've got, 27 and 5/8 inches. So 5/8 inches would round down to half an inch, okay? So I want you guys to kind of get all of these dimensions and kind of superimpose them on these drawings. And then these things in turn are going to get 3-hole punched and placed in order inside of your binder. Okay? Are there any questions about this? No? All right. We're going to go back in the other classroom and I'm going to talk to you guys just for a second about why we're doing this. All right? Or actually, we can do it right here. Let's talk about it for just a sec. So if I asked you guys, if I pulled out a nice Benjamin and I set it down right here and I said, how big is it? You guys would probably, if you wanted to know how big a $50 bill is, or is it, wait, Benjamin's a 50 or 100? 100, right? 100. So you guys would take a tape measure out and you go, oh, it's, it's like 6 1/4 by, 2 3/4 or something like that, right? You would take this out. What you're doing is you're relating the bill to the size of the scale. But what did prehistoric man use? Did they have rulers and tape measures? No, they didn't, right? And so a lot of times the human psyche uses its sort of power of comparison, right, to put two things in comparison. So for example, if I found a rock on the floor and I threw it at a saber-toothed tiger and killed it, right? And then some other guy goes, whoa, dude, how big was that rock that you threw at him? You might say, well, bro, it was like the size of my hand, right? Or you could say, well, it was the size of my head. Somebody might say, ooh, did you see that tasty caterpillar we just ate? How big was it? Oh, it was about as long as my finger. Or it was as long as my arm. So we use our human body to kind of start to compare the size of something and convey that information to someone else. Likewise, if you ran into an elephant, right, you might say, oh man, I was standing next to that thing and it was twice as tall as me. Again, you're relating it back to your size. And even though we now do have units of measure, right, if you were to walk into St. Peter's Basilica in Rome, chances are you wouldn't go, let's see, that's like 40 meters or it's, 100 feet up or something, or 150 feet, you would go, wow. You would look up, you would look around, and you would be awed by the sense of scale of the space. And that sense of scale is related to you, your perception of yourself, and your body. If, on the other hand, you walked into a miniature version of it that was no taller than you and you had to duck in to get inside, you probably wouldn't be awed by the replica. It's all in relationship to your human size. And so that's why understanding architecture and design elements in relationship to yourself is so crucial. Okay? So I'm going to stop this video. We're going to go back in and keep going with Mesopotamia. If you guys have not completed this exercise, you'll have to kind of complete it on your own at home. All right?